For modern day, like, I know we still have an active leper colony population in the world, but if that came to
talk about old school, leprosy.
A mass outbreak again, that could cause some issues.
Yeah, especially for all those video game nerds. Leprosy, there goes your thumbs.
Exactly. I mean, the Xbox One will be very popular because of the voice command. So, I mean, it's just going to be people yelling at TVs all the time.
Until your lips and tongue fall out.
Yeah, then what are you going to do?
Then the voice commands are pretty much by the board, too.
And you can't do the connect thing because your legs and arms are falling off.
Yeah, you just sit there as a rotting lump of flesh and gibber, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then Exactly. So it's not going to be anything different.
Well, yeah,
It'll just smell worse.
Until the disease is
well
well advanced.
Some of us will smell worse.
Now, don't armadillos carry leprosy? Isn't that one of the things that is out there that those creatures can actually give you that?
Armadillos can... I've never heard of that one, really.
Yeah, I can double check. I think that's with their saliva or some sort of secretion they have.
All right, so you don't want to have sex with an armadillo. Is that what you're telling me?
Don't lick it.
Yeah, don't. Yeah. I've been told don't lick it.
How often has a woman told you not to lick something?
There's going to be dead air for a minute because...
No dead air!
Don't lick it.
You guys take this. I'm going to crack up right now.
I broke George.
How many times have
Yay me!
Armadillo licking.
That's a new thing. Is it kind of like toad licking, only different?
Pretty much. Instead of going psychedelic, you lose body parts.
So after I run over the armadillo, which is bad enough.
Don't try to go lip to lip and resuscitate
Don't go lick it, is what you're saying.
If, in fact, the armadillo has that issue.
But there's no way to tell, right?
I can Google it.
No, I mean, there's no way to tell if an armadillo has leprosy.
Unless he's wearing the shirt, I got leprosy, then don't lick him.
Pretty much.
That's right, obviously. Just like, unless, rabies you can tell after a certain point because the animal starts foaming at the mouth. But armadillos always look kind of mellow and,
Yeah, they're pretty chill out.
No, they're not chill out. Have you ever come across one of those unexpected?
I've never tried to sneak up on an armadillo.
Tell us what
enlighten me.
Chuckles, tell us what happens when you sneak up on an armadillo unexpectedly.
Well, sneaking up on any animal unexpectedly is a bad thing, but armadillos have some sharp flipping teeth, and they're very aggravatable, just like a raccoon. So if you come up across that and they don't want to be around you, they're going to shred you.
And is that how you become a leper?
I don't know. I'm not a leper. I haven't contracted that disease yet. Ask someone down in Texas or Oklahoma where these things are rolling around. I don't know.
All right, look. If you're a redneck and you're down in Texas and you have a habit of licking armadillos, stop it. Okay? That's one fetish. Yeah, take it from Nurse Misery. Yes, that is one fetish you might not want to indulge so freely.
I can actually see the picture in my head. It's some guy wearing a cowboy hat with this really redneck gear going on, sitting there about to lick the armadillo and saying, "Oh, darn.
Just wait a minute now."
They might be on to something. No armadillo licking tonight, Stu.
So therefore, for the first time ever in its broadcast history, the Haunted Cabaret has done a public service.
Why?
By accident.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure you didn't plan that one.
This was an accident. I mean, armadillo licking was not on the agenda.
Is that going to be a new T-shirt? Can we market that?
Yes, I
think
the
Haunted Cabaret supports no armadillo licking.
Opposes armadillo licking.
There we go.
They do support sex with alligators. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, or anteaters are fine. I don't think they carry any germs, right?
No, they're pretty cute.
That's good. I gotta
lick an armadillo.
I gotta go on that end now. If you're a young lady and you're into the animal
kingdom,
which there are some out there, and I know this is a totally different show, not the Haunted Cabaret, but we gotta figure that if you're gonna go for an animal that's gonna pleasure you, you would go for an anteater because that thing can stick its tongue down some really deep chasms, hit some spots where I'm not gonna hit.
Chuckles, I mean, you're going to just work every man out of a job.
Okay, so refrain from licking armadillos. Feel free to indulge in anteaters until further notice.
Apparently, there's going to be this new anteater sale.
Instead of peanut butter with German Shepherds, you're going to have young ladies walking around with armadillos and honey.
Armadillos? We just said no armadillos.
Anteaters and honey.
Anteaters.
Jeez. Someone's going to start a breeding program, aren't they, Chuckles?
Yeah. Okay, bringing us to our next musical track on the show.
How do we get away from diseases to this?
All right, let me just, next musical track, Chuckles the Clown, Who Are You? Black Sabbath, here on the Haunted Cabaret on Rhode Island. Free radio. All right, that was Black Sabbath, Who Are You, off the Sabbath Bloody Sabbath album. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that was the first Black Sabbath song actually written by Ozzy Osbourne, contributing to that album. So, one of those, I guess, some other stations would call it a deep track. You're very unlikely to hear that any place but here on the Haunted Cabaret. Actually, you're probably very unlikely to hear anything that you've heard tonight, especially conversation-wise, anywhere else but on the Haunted Cabaret. And actually, with this point, whether it's armadillos, this point, did most of these plagues come from animals? I mean, because I was thinking about that as the music was playing, because the Black Plague from the rats.
Yep.
Technically,
well,
from
it wasn't the
fleas.
Rats. It's from the fleas, which is part of the animal kingdom.
Yeah,
okay.
but the rats got the bone end of the stick here. It wasn't the rats' fault. It was the fleas' fault.
All right, that's still the animal kingdom.
Yeah, so. And I wouldn't totally tell the rats they're off the hook. I mean, those things are those little bastards were the ones swimming in the sewage.
It's not their fault. These diseased fleas decided to jump aboard the Rat Express.
Right, but who told the rat to swim in the poop?
Where else was the rat supposed to swim?
Not supposed to swim in poop?
Why were the fleas in the poop?
Well, then again, the rat was minding its own business, wandering around the drains of London, and it was the people that pooped on him.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the people's fault for pooping on the rat who got the flea, who got the disease, and gave it to the people.
This sounds like a Sesame Street thing we're shaping up for.
I don't know. Didn't they blame AIDS on some dude having intercourse with a monkey too?
I've heard it both ways. Yeah, either sex with a monkey or being bitten by a monkey out in the jungle.
Yeah, so that was one that's caused by an animal.
So that's what I'm getting at. So that's what I was thinking. While the music was playing, is that so Black Plague by fleas and rats, AIDS by a monkey apparently. I
don't think the scarlet fever is from any animals though.
Okay.
I think that was a pure nasty born thing on its own.
Okay, Ebola maybe. Was that animal originated too?
I think Ebola is one of those things that it targets us mainly. I could be wrong, but I think that's a human disease.
Okay.
Very few diseases travel between human and animal, so it's kind of rare to get that one that affects everything.
Which is actually, from the point of view of the survival of the human species, lucky.
Right.
And a lot of them that, they really kind of, I guess, fizzle out before they can really get up anymore. I remember the avian bird flu?
Oh, that one, yeah.
That was a big frenzy made out of that turned out to be nothing.
Would it come from like raw chickens in the Orient that started spreading this way?
Something about it came from chickens,
bird flu.
Yeah. I thought it came from like chickens and all that, chickens and ducks, and it started coming this way and never really got off.
What do you have there, nurse?
Well, you guys bounce from subject to subject so fast. I'm trying to fact check for you guys.
We do. That's why I stopped us. Yeah.
So I found the scarlet fever. It actually can develop from strep throat. So we can't blame animals for that one. So animals are off the hook for scarlet fever. I don't know what else.
Okay. I was wondering about Ebola.
Ebola.
Yeah. Yeah, because bird flu is obviously from birds. We got,
Now, if you're a Rhode Island native listening to this, which they're out there, the scarlet fever wiped out a good portion of our population back in the turn of the century. Both Coventry, Warwick got wiped out by this big time, and it targeted the younger folks real quick, babies, elderly. Nasty disease, very nasty disease. And we haven't heard, well, she's looking that up. We have to hear the man himself. What is one of your favorite diseases?
Well, I guess favorite in the sense of, that it's wiped out. I don't know. I'm not sure if I think this has wiped out even more people than the Black Plague. Smallpox.
Wow. I didn't even think of that one.
Yeah. It really wasn't big on my radar either, but I was, it was one of these pandemic scares that was going on. And so I did a little, nerd type research, and I actually came across this book. And apparently this author traced, I think for the next show I'll remind myself to, get the author and the name of this book, because anybody that wants to understand the history of, I was going to say the United States, but it's actually more the history of Western civilization, has to understand smallpox, because from the time of the first white settlers into America, smallpox has affected the results of basically every interaction between Europeans and the Native Americans.
Orientals.
Yeah, it was smallpox that wiped out, when the Native Americans complained, hey, you white people, you didn't fight fair, we just, you didn't just shoot at us. I mean, you went and plagued us. Yeah, what they're talking about is smallpox. And I guess maybe it's not talked about that much, maybe for that reason, because a lot of nasty... Actually, it was the first incident of biological warfare also, because I think it was back in the War for Independence, America's war for independence with the British, that I don't want to place blame on the wrong villains here, but I think what happened was that there was an epidemic of smallpox during the war, and what the British did is they got the corpses of